Get ready for the smackdown. Get ready for the smackdown. How you gonna react when you're put on your back now? Cause there's no turning back when you're facing the smackdown.
Alright guys, I'm Kid here once again. I'm here again to give you the next fight for Section 6 of my fantasy fights. And I got a triple threat dance for you guys. All ladies, once again, gearing up, as always, for that big female section. I got Fairchild versus Wonder Girl versus Lyra, Savage Heel. Yeah, this three-way dance, excuse me, of three young ladies. So let's kick it off, shall we? Okay, guys, so we're gonna start off Fairchild. Yeah, Fairchild. Now, I'm not sure if anybody else read Gen 13 when it was still with the Wildstorm, but I did. I liked Gen 13, and Fairchild was actually was my favorite on that team. She was considered the unofficial leader of that young team, and I would totally agree why she was considered that before she transitioned over into this new DC universe now. But when she was with under the Wildstorm universe, she was, like I said, the unofficial leader of Gen 13, and she was also considered the smartest and the strongest of the team. So she pretty much had brains and brawn, which is a cool combination. She was also the half sister of her teammate Freefall. Her mother was a member of Team 7, and her mother was named Alex Fairchild. Her real name is Claudian Fairchild. Caitlin, yeah, I think, yeah, that's it, Caitlin. Fairchild was always cool, like I said, brains and brawn, so she pretty much was a good mesh of what it took to be a good leader, in my opinion. Now, in terms of her abilities, she had a lot of strength powers as well. Like, for example, she had physical growth augmentation, like she can grow bigger or become her figure would become more woman-like. Like she would not be, because she was still like a teenager, but she became more woman-like as well. Her muscle density would be increased. For example, her hourglass figure was far beyond what she was. Like, she may look like she's very light, but she could weigh over scales of like 300 pounds. Of course, she had super strength, super durability. Like, she could take a physical beat down and without getting really injured. Of course, enhanced stamina, which made her endurance very high. Pretty much, like I said, same limits of like Supergirl. Enhanced agility, if I remember correctly. Reflexes were good, and at one point she could also shapeshift, and she also had great leadership skills. And that was one thing that I was worried about when they transitioned her over into this DC universe now. But recently I saw that she seems to might still have those powers that she had now, after one issue of Superboy where they show her in there, which was really cool to me. But yeah, Fairchild was she's a very cool combatant. So all in all, this is one individual that has all what you want in a superheroine or whatever. Alright, so we move on to her combatant, her combatant in this. And everybody should know who this girl is. Yes, Wonder Girl, aka Cassandra Sandsmart. Now, once again, I'm gonna give a little bit of her origin before, the reboot, because we still have no real indication of what she's like now, what her origin is now. So before the whole relaunch of the DC Universe, Wonder Girl Cassandra, she's the daughter of the Olympian god Zeus. Okay, and her mother was a doctor known as Helena Sandsmart. So once again, we see Zeus basically, sticking him where it don't belong, being the big player that he is. When she became Wonder Girl, Casey, she was a little different. She didn't look the way she looks now with the blonde hair. I remember one time seeing her with the big glasses and black hair, and later on she dyed it yellow. She had more like a crew cut, and her powers deprived from weapons and stuff that she stole. She would borrow from Wonder Woman, and later on Zeus gave her her abilities. But Wonder Girl has always been a great character on the Titans or on Young Justice. However, she really developed a good sense of leadership, as well as the whole big romance with her and Superboy. She would take over leadership of the Titans before the relaunch, after Tim gave it to her, basically. And despite what Beast Boy said, she was a good leader. She developed good leadership skills. And despite that, like I said, all her powers now, her powers then developed from her father. And her lasso at the time was called the lasso of Ares, which it was given to her by the god of war. And her lasso also had the ability to manipulate electricity through, enchanted fibers or something like that. And that's how, Wonder Girl was at first. But like I said, she was also great at hand-to-hand combat. I've seen her take some devastating punches and, get up from it like no problem. Like, is that all you got? I guess that's from the demigod blood of hers. But now it's really unclear of the, exact nature of Casey's powers now. Though we know when she, puts her bracelets together, there's like an energy that basically consumes her, and then her powers, her abilities are activated. But we don't know. I really have no clue, or I should say we don't know if it's similar to her old abilities or do they differ. But all in all, Casey, Wonder Girl, is still a great character and a very, very tough opponent. Alright guys, and moving on to their combatant, I give you Lyra, the genetically engineered daughter of Thundra and the Incredible Hulk of the 616 universe. Like many, she was trained by her sisters of the same society that Thundra comes from in the alternate universe. Her sisters kind of shunned her because they thought she was an abomination, but she got the great training as well by them, especially from her mother, Thundra, in hand-to-hand combat and things like that. As like any gamma radiated person, she has all the powers of gamma power. However, now that she's in the 616 universe, there are some things about her that are a little different. Instead of if she angrier, her powers increase. Well, when she gets angrier, her powers decrease. So there's a little difference in that. But here's something that's kind of cool about her. When she calms down and mellows out, she enters like this zen-like state that gives her like pre-augmented abilities. So like when she's fighting, she's like really into the fight, moving with the flow, and she can find people's weakness, pressure points, and things like that, and almost in this zen-like state, she's nearly unbeatable. Like she will flow through people's defense, no problem. And that's something that's always been cool about Lyra, the aka Savage She-Hulk, the other Savage She-Hulk. But yeah, she's a test tube baby, but she is the genetically engineered daughter of Thundra and the Incredible Hulk. So that's just a little bit about Lyra. Alright, so in terms of this battle, this triple threat match, this would be a very, very interesting fight. We got three powerhouses going at it. Young powerhouses, I should say. Fairchild, Wonder Girl, and Lyra. I don't want to play favorites, people, as I always try to do in my fights. I never try to play favorites. Wow, very interesting fight. I can actually see these three girls becoming good friends, actually. But a good sparring fight between these three would be really good. Very, very good. I say it like this. If Lyra enters that zen-like state that I just told you guys about, she might get the upper hand. But once again, you got to put into the factor of Fairchild's brains and her brawn. Same thing with Wonder Girl. You know, there's just so many variables in this fight. But if you don't know a lot about any of the characters, do your research before you decide. But I leave it up to you guys. Who wins? Fairchild? Wonder Girl? Or Lyra? And as always, this is M.V.K Kid. Saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real. I'll see you Sunday with the next fights. Battle on.